to The Upgrade. I'm Seymour Segnet, and back with us again is Kate. Where have you been? Where have you been?
Hi. I just had a little cold, but all is good now. It wasn't COVID. I tested negative, so I know a lot of people were asking, but it was
It must have been a hell of a cold, because you're one of the, I think you're underplaying it, because you're one of the most always there kind of folks I've ever met. Anyway, welcome home.
Thank you.
You're basically the reason folks show up most weeks. So so we're back in the game. We're back, everybody. Okay, great show for you today. We've got something for you today that is super interesting and super important. But if I say its name right now, it sounds so dull. You'll be switching across to YouTube for cat videos or something. So I'll tell you about it in 1 minute. Before that, a reminder from Kate that
Secret word is coming up at the end, so make sure you watch till the very end. It's the 3 chances to win in our monthly $1,000 draw for electronics and MAGFAST goodies. You will enter that at magfast.com/fun, and we'll go over that again at the end. And I will be revealing May's winner. So it could be you.
And it could be you. All right. Remember, please, to our site below us, there should be an array of buttons. Like us on Facebook, subscribe, smash the YouTube subscribe button. Please follow us on Twitter. Please connect on LinkedIn. And this is way more fascinating than it sounds, I promise you. It's called IP, or intellectual property. What? This is actually a dear friend of MAGFAST, of mine, and of the old company as well, Steve Barnes. Let's bring him into the room of the round. Steve, you're amazing, and I've said this to you privately many times, but I want to say it publicly in front of the tens of thousands of people who watch The Upgrade every week. Most of you know the history of the old company, and there was a few very, very difficult months for me personally and for our kind of vision of charging, when MAGFAST hadn't started and the old thing hadn't worked out. And Steve-O was there right the way for free through a long, long, cold winter. And I'm trying to stop the tears. I've got the goosebumps, but you're amazing. I still don't know what exactly. Yeah, but I still don't know what exactly it is you do around here, Steve. Well, what is this? What is this IP? What is this intellectual property?
Maybe the 18th time that I explain it is a charm, and we'll get it from here. So there are really 4 types of intellectual property: patents, secrets.
Okay. So let's list them again, because you went through very quickly, and then tell us and we'll break each of them down. But do the list again, and then tell us which is most.
Trademarks, copyrights, and trade secrets.
Okay. Now, most people have seen those, in the lettering or something. It's kind of blah 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 blah, kind of boring business. What? Why does any of this stuff matter?
The reason it matters is because it protects consumers from getting ripped off buying fake products. That's a trademark. And it protects the company from counterfeiters coming in and profiting from the strength of the brand. For example, the MAGFAST brand is well known. We've got trademark protection in North America and also around the world. But then patents protects the investment that a company makes in new technology. So MAGFAST can spend hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars, years of blood, sweat, and tears to develop a product that is magnificent, and they can have a protected period of time granted by the United States government and governments all over the world and it's basically the government gives you this period of exclusivity as a benefit for the time and effort that you spent developing this product.
Yeah. All right. So trademarks is the name.
Yes.
Patents, regular patents are kind of the idea, and there's this other flavor called design patents, which is kind of the way it looks and feels. Would it be fair to say?
Yes.
All right. And you also mentioned in there copyright. So just explain, which people have seen that at the bottom of websites, at the ends of articles, in books, and so on.
Yeah.
So what is copyright?
Copyrights basically protect words and ideas like song lyrics, books, photographs. There are, copyrights for almost anything artistic, as long as it is reduced, as long as it exists in physical form, it can be protected by copyright.
Are you saying, Steve, that this could be copyrighted?
Your face cannot be copyrighted. A photograph of your face or a sculpture of your face could be copyrighted.
Oh, a sculpture.
But also, I could draw a picture of a stick man with a blue crayon, and that would also have copyright protection.
It would have it, or it could get it.
It would. There are two types of copyright protection. One is called common law protection, which anything that stickman is protected by common law copyright. And then there is a federally registered copyright, which is what you see in a book. That's the circle R that you see. I'm sorry, the circle C, that's copyright. Circle R is a registered trademark.
All right, let's keep moving. So we said 4 types. We've done patents in 2 flavors. We've done trademarks. Yep. We've done copyrights, and the final one was
trade secrets.
Trade secrets. So what give us an example of give us an example of a trade secret.
A trade secret would be the way that you run your plant. A trade secret could be basically anything that you take active measures to keep from public disclosure is a trade secret. It could be a list of customers.
So anything clever about the way you run your business, any information that makes your business powerful.
Yep. It doesn't even have to be that clever. Okay. It can be, we sweep the floors at 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. And if you think that's important and important enough for you to protect, then it's a trade secret. I don't know what value that might have, but a customer list is tremendously valuable. And, it's all information that, I can find each and every one of those people online somehow, but the collection of all of those people into a list of people who are interested in MAGFAST products is tremendously valuable.
All right, so that's the quick one of them. Let's drill in. I think today, let's drill in particularly on trademarks.
All right.
And then we'll do a little bit on patents towards the end. So let's talk about trademarks. So the trademark that everybody best knows in this environment is MAGFAST, right? It's the nice, big, and bold. And he's looking at it on the screen right now. Okay, so there's MAGFAST, and looky there in the bottom right-hand corner. There's that little R in a circle.
That is correct.
So we used to put TM, Steve, and now we put R. So let's talk about, because TM is clearly trademark and R is registered trademark. Would you tell the good folks at home what the difference is, please?
The circle R means that you've gone through the expense and difficulty of registering your trademark with the United States Patent and Trademark Office. And that is a process that takes anywhere from 8 months to 2 years. And there's a cost associated with it. And sometimes the trademark office will put you through the ringer. Luckily, MAGFAST's mark is strong enough that we really haven't been put through the ringer by the trademark office.
Yeah, and give folks, because one of the reasons that we do these sort of inside the business segments is for folks, thousands of people watching this. Many have businesses, are starting businesses. Many of their businesses, of course, will be much more mature than us, but other folks will be starting out. And so we hope that we can be, an element of education here. If someone has, Katie's wonderful cat store or something, right? And what she wants to trademark it. How much money is involved in getting a trademark typically? For
Katie's wonderful cat store, it would be a couple of $1,000s and maybe a year. And it depends before you file for a trademark, and actually before you even start to use a trademark, you should do a trademark search to make sure that no one is going to come along after you've spent a year or two investing in this brand and letting all of your people know that, hey, Katie's Wonderful Cat Store is the place to buy wonderful cats. You don't want someone to come along and say, hey, Katie's Wonderful Cat Store is already a franchise in California, Arizona, and we have a registered trademark. So now you have to cease and desist using Katie's Wonderful
Yep.
Cat Store. That's something that's overlooked by people all the time.
So job number one is the search. So as soon as you've got a big idea for a name, you want to be doing the search. And this isn't technically the legal thing, but I search at GoDaddy when I'm thinking of names for things. I'm at GoDaddy seeing if I'm ever going to get the web address for it as well, because whilst that isn't strictly in the legal trademark arena, it's hell of important. And in fact, for MAGFAST, someone did have the name.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't in use, and we used kind of a third party to purchase it. And we were fortunate that we were able to get it at a price that we could, because there was very little money around. It was during the long cold winter when Steve was helping us. You will remember, and we found this thing. We're like, oh my God, it's the perfect name. If someone wants $50,000, we're out. And luckily they didn't. They just wanted a few $1,000s, and we were able to secure it.
Yep. So. That is the URL is incredibly important, because if you couldn't get magfast.com and you went to magfast.org or magfastchargers.com, all of which are possibilities to get around that, the .com URL is what you really want. So you make sure you can get that. And you also make sure that there's not a MAGFAST out there somewhere. And in trademark law, there can be someone using MAGFAST in something completely unrelated. If I had a fast magazine delivery system that I called MAGFAST, that would not be a barrier to our use or our registration of MAGFAST for chargers and electronic devices.
It's funny you mentioned that. If you do... is it called archive.org, the Internet Archive?
Wayback?
Wayback, the Wayback Machine. If you go into the Wayback Machine, you can, because the magfast.com was first registered, way back, a couple of decades ago, I think. We've owned it for 5 years or something now, 4.5 years, I guess. And I think originally they've actually got what the URL, what the domain was used for, and I think it actually was for a fast magazine delivery service or something to do with magazines. And just to Steve's point about you're allowed to have the same name in use in different places. McDonald's obviously have a very broad trademark coverage. So it wouldn't be a good idea to try to sell sandwiches or probably any other kind of food or anything related to food or anything that McDonald's thinks is to do with them.
Yes.
But if you for instance make surgical gowns with a magnetic fastener down the front, McDonald's probably wouldn't be able to stop you from using their name for that. And it just so happens that someone does use the name MAGFAST for that very, very completely different business. It's a small business, we think, but this is normal. One of the things that we've been fortunate with the name MAGFAST is that it's actually not in very much use elsewhere.
Right.
There are a couple of minor other instances of it, but it's basically, and that's why when you Google MAGFAST, you see us,
Yep. And it's also what we in the trademark business call suggestive, because when you break down MAGFAST, it's a magnetic fastening system and it works great as a trademark.
It's MAGFAST.
Yes.
It's really great.
Yep.
So I think I'm still a little confused on trademarks. I'm just not good at this. So our logo MAGFAST is trademarked.
Both the name and the logo are separately trademarked. So there's a possibility that someone could come along and put words in that were not MAGFAST into a logo that closely resembled MAGFAST, and that would cause confusion in the mind of customers. Even though it's not the word MAGFAST, people would look at it and go, "Oh yeah, it's a green block letter, slightly canted logo on a electronic charging device." And in my mind, that means MAGFAST. So I'm going to buy that because I know that MAGFAST is quality. And so we don't want people to do that, and we also don't want people to put the word MAGFAST in, Helvetica type across a white box and confuse people that way. So that's the word protection.
I've just thought, sorry to interrupt, Steve. I've just thought of a real life example of how powerful this can be. If you go down to the candy store at the moment, to the gas store or whatever, you look in the candy section, where Snickers is, that the feel of that logo, Snickers, is so powerful that they now put other words like delicious and have you guys seen this? They've actually, if you look in the Snickers section, they've got like 5 or 6 different names in the Snickers.
Snickers.
Yes.
Instead of Snickers written on it. So the look and feel of the logo is very, very, very important as well. Let's just sum up on trademark, because I knew this was going to happen. It was more interesting and more fun than anybody expected. So we're running long already. But so we have MAGFAST already fully registered in the United States and all across Europe and the UK and a lot of other jurisdictions.
Yes.
And in pretty much any other jurisdiction that, forgive me, some smaller countries, but in any country that a large American company would care about.
Yes.
We have it in most of them.
When we filed MAGFAST internationally, we first went to Europe because we sort of thought of that as sort of the next market. And like all things in a startup business, we have to have a budget. So we have an intellectual property budget that we have to meet. And our first priority was European countries. And after we got that and we started making more sales and the company had a little more money to spend, that's when we went to other locations to protect MAGFAST. And we sort of stack rank countries based on where we're making sales, what the gross domestic product of that country is, gross domestic product per capita is. And we figured out where it was worthwhile for us to file for registered trademark protection. And we have quite a few in Africa, because there's an organization in Africa that makes it cost effective to file for, 15 African states at a relatively low value. And that's probably something that we wouldn't have done otherwise if we had to go into each individual country, just because it would have been cost prohibitive.
Yeah, and similarly, there's Europe brings a whole bunch of. It's a bit more money, but Europe makes it easy to go to one place and get all of them.
Yes.
All right. I'd like to just add a little. So we feel very good about the trademark position. We also have. We started a little later on them, but we also have LED-licious and Fingerprint are both underway. We have a future unannounced product. We've done a little bit of work on that. Can't say too much more about that at the moment, but stay close.
But that one is so fun. Just wait.
It's very. I mean, it's only the inner circle have seen it so far, but it's very, very, very exciting. Let's talk for a little bit about patents. Just explain again a little bit about what I want to do this in 2 minutes because we're running really long at the moment. But let's just do 2 more minutes on patents.
For our purposes, there are 2 types of patents. There are utility patents that cover devices. For our purpose,
it's kind of how it works, how it
is put together. In our case, how they fit together. That is the main point of novelty for the most important MAGFAST patent is how it connects magnetically and transfers charge from one device to another. And there's a whole system of magnetically coupled devices, and that's something that is interesting and unique, and we think we have that nailed down. And then the second type of patents is design patents, which covers how something looks, how, we have a design patent on basically a large rectangular charge device.
Yeah, which essentially on this, even though it's so simple, right? We have a design patent. So no one else is allowed to make a product that substantially looks like this, as simple as this may seem to be. We also have a patent underway on air.
Design patent on that.
It's unique geometry. Yep.
And there's even one on extreme.
And there's something on the. Sorry, Kate, we interrupted you. You were about to ask something.
Oh, I was just going to ask who issues patents.
There's a entity in Arlington, Virginia called the United States Patent and Trademark Office, which was created by it's in the Constitution. And little interesting bit of trivia: the first patent examiner, Thomas Jefferson.
Oh, cool.
Because it was under the Secretary of State.
Neat.
Unknown to most people, including me until recently, you know, when you watch the late night television shows, and it looks like the host and the guest they've just met and they're catching up, very natural conversation, but they do actually have a pre-interview.
Yes.
Where there's a little, where a staff member or whatever, and they work out what stories are going to be told. And I'm just remembering now, because I didn't take my notes properly, Steve, that when you and I had a pre-interview for this a couple of days ago, you were singing at one point, and I'm trying to remember why. I think it was in the area of trademarks.
It was trademarks, and it's my favorite. It is the strongest trademark attorney flex in the history of the world. And it was for, yes, I'm not going to do that, but it was for Band-Aid, because if a trademark becomes generic, anyone can use it. And examples of generic trademarks are aspirin, heroin, escalator, elevator.
So these were company names that slipped into general usage for anything of that kind.
Yes. And Seymour, in England, when you are using a vacuum cleaner, what do you call that?
You hoover. I'm going to hoover the house today.
Yes. Hoover is generic in England, but it is still a registered trademark in the United States because English people hoover. But Band-Aid is another one that no one used a self-adhesive bandage. Everyone used a Band-Aid. And the Band-Aid jingle was, I am stuck on Band-Aid because Band-Aid stuck on me. And the trademark attorney said, that's terrible. That's going to get us, it's going to make our trademark generic. So he said, we're going to change the jingle. And changing jingles is a big step. And now the jingle is, I am stuck on Band-Aid brand because Band-Aid stuck on me. And I remember seeing that change being like, oh my God, how did a lowly trademark attorney ever convince a massive corporation to do that? And the way he did it was he said, your trademark's going to become generic, and the Band-Aid trademark is worth millions, hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
So,
and we have, and so you can see, so that's a case of a lowly patent attorney with a big corporation. Here we have a magnificent patent and trademark attorney with a small startup corporation. We're very fortunate to have Steve here. Steve's worked for some huge law firms, you know, undertaking, you know, very large intellectual property projects. And so we're fortunate, you know, like we're very blessed to have him.
I am fortunate to have my all-time favorite client. None of my other clients listen to that. But I'm very fortunate to have been working with Seymour for, 7 or 8 years now?
Pleasure. And one of, you just heard, there are dozens and dozens of things that we do and ways that we behave because of Steve's advice. But we're actually working on a new film within the next couple of months, and once or twice in the script we do say MAGFAST brand. We do that just to sprinkle it, you know, just to have this in, you know, in our universe. So we're always trying to. One of the things we try to do at MAGFAST is to do the not obvious thing that puts us in a good place for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years from now. Which is sometimes tiring and expensive and makes things feel slower today, but I think it's better for building the foundation for the future.
Yep.
All right, Mr. Barnes, you're awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
This has been fun. Will you come back again sometime in a few weeks?
I will come back anytime you want me to.
Excellent.
Hey, thank you
so much. Thank you,
Bye,
Steve.
guys.
All right, Kate, we're running way over. Let's do a secret word quickly and get that winner announced, and then we need to get out of here.
Okay. Real quick, before I announce the secret word, I just wanted to say thank you to the people that watch on Facebook Live and YouTube Live. Y'all are awesome. They've created like a little community and they talk to each other, and it's just the cutest thing. And I just wanted to, because I was actually watching the comments the other day, and I just love it. So thank you guys so much. Okay, so secret word. Secret word today is IP, just the letter I and the letter P.
Yeah, it's what we've just been talking about with Mr. Barnes. Intellectual property. It's always called IP. So it's just the letter I and the letter P. IP. Secret word. IP.
Okay, and I wanted to announce May's winner. I really hope you're watching. But her name is Susan Mallory from Texas.
Susan Mallory from Texas. Susan just went to magfast.com/fun and entered the secret that she was. And she's probably right now not listening to any of this nonsense about being a winner. She's in there right now at magfast.com/fun, typing in IP is this week's secret word, I'm sure. IP is this week's secret word. You can always email us, hello@magfast.com. Kate and the team are always there. You can tweet us at GetMagFast, Facebook.com/Magfast is the home of Magfast on Facebook, YouTube.com/Magfast, and we're always charging for good on your desktop, tablet, smartphone, and more
at magfast.com.